Hello, everybody, and welcome to SoCallie number 3. It's a little bit delayed, but we are here trying to wrap up the tournament before the very next SoCallie gets up and started this upcoming weekend. I am DRF, joined by Kyon for a very special best of 3 broadcast here to try to get through this tournament. Kyon, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be seeing here today.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing 2 teams here, UCSD versus Tender Defenders, UCSD Esports Gold. For context, I'm actually going to be, so UCSD Gold, if you've been around the collegiate scene for long enough, you know familiar faces like Lumi, Enda, Sunlight, and Goatchild to boot. And Tender Defender has a team featuring Chase 247 as well. This should be a fun matchup coming up. And you mentioned for best of 3, so every map is going to start counting here.
Yeah, it's going to go really fast, and this could be over really in the blink of an eye. We're literally only streaming a best of 3 here, so we very much could be off the air in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the way that this thing goes. But just to kind of put a little bit of further context into this matchup here, this is losers semifinals. We are in top 4 now. So the loser of this match will go ahead and take that 4th place spot. The winner moves on to losers finals, where they will face the loser of an upcoming match later this evening that V4p0r and Kyon will also be covering. It's my team, Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy, taking on Beeline at 8 p.m. Pacific. So be sure to keep an eye out for that matchup. But as we said, this is a simple best of 3 here. And these 2 teams have played before, Kyon. They actually played in the first round of this top 9, where Tender Defenders won 3-2 in what was actually a really thrilling match for those that were able to see it. I believe that Chara actually subbed in for that one, and that's on his YouTube, I believe. Oh, no, sorry, I think it was Chase. One of them has the YouTube on. You can totally take a look there. But I think we're ready, Kyon. Let's dive on in.
Yeah, we're gonna go right into the thick of things here. It is gonna be Tender Defenders on the blue side, orange side, UCSD Esports to boot. I already take a look at some of the weapons. I'm seeing an E-leader duel, by the way, in Tower Control, Undertow Spillways. That's gonna be the big thing to highlight, though. I'm gonna pay in mind here that the Squidford, the light Tetras coming out of Tender Defenders right out of the gate is gonna be huge. But right out of the gate, all 3 members of UCSD Esports Gold, 3 out of 4, of course, has gone down. It is a bit of a wipe out there, but it's just 1 for 1, and it will be Tender Defenders taking home this first checkpoint.
Yeah, and that was a crucial pick there for CD Woomy, but had to survive that as well. The trade gonna allow Tender Defenders a big run here, as Ty Lee going to be backflipping all the way back to that tower for the recall. RC doing the best that they can to try to get a couple picks here, not going to be able to do so, but this tower's all the way down to 37 remaining. A phenomenal opening push here out of Tender Defenders, and even though this is going to be a delayed wipe, they've already done so much damage here, and the jumps are still coming in. UCSD focused on trying to get Ty Lee out of their base instead of trying to push up. That's going to be phenomenal here for Tender Defenders to try to get back in position, but they continue to be at a numbers disadvantage here after 1 minute into the game. A strong push, but UCSD looking to try to match the push that they just saw.
Yeah, and UCSD Esports is doing a pretty good job, actually holding well on defense. You mentioned, though, the jumps were coming in there. Tender Defender was kind of trying to be a little bit more opportunistic here, trying to see if they can get more out of this tower here, but they bit off a little bit more than they could chew, and everybody had to respawn in. And now we get to see UCSD Esports able to punish out a few members here, the E-leader and the sniper both going down, and we get to see Ty Lee able to get the E-leader out of there. Goatchild has gone down, and there is still members on that tower. Will Ocean Opal try to get more out of this one? No, just wisely escapes with their life. Not quite the lead, not a bad push nevertheless, but still not the lead anywho.
Yeah, and they needed to really check Ty Lee there up on that left grate, and unfortunately just was able to take down Goatchild, and a trade after that, giving Tender Defenders the numbers to get the stop there at a crucial moment, where UCSD was starting to find a little bit of momentum after what really seemed to be a disastrous opening for them. But UCSD doing a great job of taking the lead here now in terms of the pacing of the game. They don't have the lead in the score quite yet, but they're going to have to get a crucial pick here on Tylee once again, if that's going to be the case, I think. Tylee coming in from behind, not going to be able to get it. That goes the lead now. UCSD up by 2 points, continuing to have the numbers in their favor, going all the way down to this final checkpoint. Ocean Opal, the newest member of UCSD Esports Gold, coming up from that Navy team, coming up with a crucial play here, and that's going to be a wipeout. Gold all the way down to 15 points remaining. Kyon, I think that is a great position for them to be in, but they're going to have to act fast off of this wipeout.
Yeah, and Tender Affairs is going to have to replicate the same success they had in that first push. They lost the second and third attack from UCSD Esports. Members going down left and right, and these multiple down scenarios effectively means UCSD Esports, they get total paint control into their territory there, and we get to see Tender Defenders on a 3-down situation there, but Tylee trying to play back big time. That's 3 down on both sides. Messy fight across the board, but it is going to be 3 members down on both ends, but it looks like Tender Defenders are back in position there. 2 members have gone down on top of it, and then this would be a decent push. They just have to look for RC there. RC might be able to get away from this one, and it will be Ocean Opal. No, not able to get RC gone, and now we get to see the Zipcaster being used. RC playing this one very patiently, knowing where the members are, but of course being punished. And Tender Defenders had a strong looking push there that could have potentially been a lot worse, but with all the members going down and all the trades that were happening, UCSD Esports holds on.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I mean, Tylee's just kind of the person that UCSD is going to have to continue to check here, doing a phenomenal job with those light Tetras. And here they go again, coming up with a big pick there. But UCSD now doing a great job of just finding ways to take 2v1s against these Tetras who have just been the main source of problems for them so far. And now with that wipeout, UCSD going to make a move, try to push this tower up as far as possible, possibly looking for the knockout, but without CD Woomy locking down that front line, it's going to be a little bit trickier, and they're going to play this one a little bit slow for the closing 30 seconds, it seems.
Yeah, they're going to have to play this one pretty slow. I don't necessarily blame them at all. Tylee trying to make something happen with that Zipcaster. No dice. So here's something that I'm paying an eye on here. Tender Defender has 2 specials available, but it's just a Waybreaker and the Stamper, of course, with that Zipcaster that RC is going to have to likely find value if they're going to have to pop it. That's not happening anymore. Go Child takes them out right on the tower. But it's still 3 down despite that. And it is going to be the Blue Bomb. It's going to be nuts. There, I can't believe it. That was a little scary for sure. UCSD Esports, though, what a hold in the final moments.
Yeah, and if you, Kyon, I think you actually certainly missed out on this, but that was big for UCSD there, because if you were at SoCallie, or SoCallie, I should say, when the event was in person in Fullerton, California, actually, UCSD had lost a Game 5 on tower control because Nerdy Adam had actually mistimed the GG Booyah, then overthrew it, and then they lost the lead in overtime. So a little bit of kind of redemption there for Nerdy Adam and UCSD Esports Gold, as they are able to execute the GG Booyah at a numbers disadvantage to secure that game for his team. So kudos to Nerdy Adam there. I love to see the redemption arc. And now UCSD is up 1-0 here in loser semis.
I'm glad I know about that context too, because I feel like DRF. I feel like I'm getting a bit of a flashback, a little bit outside of SoCallie. Actually, there was a CCA Division 1 matchup that I think we both did where Nerdy Adam had a Booyah Bomb that was actually being thrown in there, and I think since that SoCallie, which I believe happened a handful of times ago, I think with Nerdy Adam cleaning up those Booyah Bomb placements and then of course throwing it at an optimal time, I think it's starting to become clear. There's that arc that Nerdy Adam has been desperately looking for. And yeah, you're right too. If Nerdy Adam mistimed it, I thought that Booyah Bomb was actually well placed, hence my call and the hesitation there. But if it was mistimed the way that it ended up happening back in that Game 5, we could have seen the exact same story. But all cleaned up, no problem whatsoever. Now, because it's the best of 3, it's match point for UCSD Esports. Every map is going to have to matter from here on out.
Yeah, in the best of three, there's nowhere to hide. Like, it's you either win or you don't. Like, there's nowhere to really be like, oh, it's okay. Like, we'll pick up the slack a little bit. Like, you have to be on that gas pedal the entire way through. As we are going to go ahead and dive on into game number 2, UCSD trying to put this one away and complete the redemption arc against the Tender Defenders here, and it will be Clamlet's Scorch Gorge, as it seems like the only adjustments we're seeing here are from Nerdy Adam switched to that T-Tech and Ty Lee switching over to those Dark Tetras.
Yeah, so this is just a Tetra change here. Instead of using that Zipcaster to be a little bit more skirmishy with light Tetra's, just gonna go with the Reef Slider, get a little bit of zoning there. Definitely like that change. On the side of UCSD Esports, as you highlighted there, the change over to T-Tech from the Booyah. I actually like that choice too, though I think both specials could have provided the same, but it looks like Adam's going to try to go for a little bit more closer range, more range if you will, or less range if you will, trying to fight in close quarters there. Nice find, by the way. We called up the T-Tech there, taking out Ty Lee on top of it. 3-down situation, but it was a 3-down situation there. Tender Defenders able to respawn up. This is just going to be Clam economy secured for UCSD Esports. Probably looking for that push here soon.
Absolutely, as they're going to try to take advantage of this these numbers here, and with Goat Child over on that right grate, eventually going down there, that really opened things up for her team to come in here and start piling in the clams. And now with all of the Tender Defenders coming out of spawn, but with no clams to work with, it's going to be down to the wire here for Ocean Opal to get this power cram. And yes, they do, all the way down to 42 remaining, but this will be the end of the push, it seems, as Goat Child with that leader not going to be the one trying to initiate a push here, but they will get the beautiful flick there onto Ty Lee.
Little bit of style points, let's say, DRF on the pick of Ty Lee. And celebrates with a nice... Okay, if you can do that one better, I will do the exact same. That was awesome. But it's Race is going to go down there. A little bit of E-leader style points there, for sure. But if we go back to the objective, though, we did get to see that power climb, which, by the way, just spawned. Movie's is going to kickstart, bringing up the barrier. They're able to cash in 20 more points, but now we're going to get to see more clams come in there. They're out of the penalty points to get one more in. Could they can find a little bit more? Majority of the clam holder in Adam just went down. RC's just there to build up that space there. Ty Lee, unfortunately, going down on top of it. It is just going to be another 3 points tacked on out of there. Still very nice, though. Tender Defenders, though, I would say that is a slight win, but they do need to look for a better push, but they're not going to get one here with them going 3 down.
Yeah, this is huge for UCSD right here. Excellent coordinated push. Now they will get more points on the board, and they are looking to knock out at this stage, but they need some clams to work with. The entire team trying to maintain pressure here. Nobody going back to collect clams, it seems. Finally, someone's coming in here with 3 clams, but it's not going to be in time. No! So they're going to have to just hold down the fort here, keep some aggression up. CD Wumi's going to go down, but they're in still a fantastic spot here. Tender Defenders struggling to just break out of their basket. Ty Lee somehow dodging all of those ink strikes as well. 2 minutes to play, but it's an uphill battle for the Tender Defenders.
Tender Defenders is going to have to look to secure the Clam County, but they're also having to win a lot of these fights here, and we're seeing UCSD Esports, again, they go right in, out of the penalty points there, and they got a lot of clams in front for the KO, and they will do just the one clam that was spawned, and UCSD Esports 2-0 victory, and that will wrap up this loser semifinals matchup. Well played to UCSD Esports and Tender Defenders, but more GGs, of course, to UCSD.
Absolutely. That was a phenomenal game by UCSD. It seemed like that as we kind of got started in game 1, Tender Defenders were just hitting their stride early on. UCSD kind of just needed a minute to warm up. But I think once we kind of saw UCSD get a couple of wipeouts there in that TC Undertow game, it really felt like that was the turning point. And I know it's really hard to, discuss that in a best of 3 where it moves so fast, but it really was a turning point about halfway through that TC Undertow. And it just seemed like it was their set to lose from there on out. And that was, I think, the best I've ever seen UCSD Esports Gold play Clamblitz on Scorch Gorge, because I know that that's been a little bit of a struggle map mode for them.
Oh, yeah. And and we are hearing word, and I feel like we need flashbacks to all the traditions here, DRF, which I'll allude to in just a moment. I know you know what I'm talking about here in a moment, but before I go to that point, but yeah, in a best of 3 setting, there every map actually matters because you barely have any wiggle room to work with. One pivotal play throughout a set can easily define it, and that's what we saw there. You mentioned before that first map, that wipeout that pretty much got that lead, 15 points out, 15 points remaining. Pretty much done deal right there. And then the second map, and then they carried that exact momentum from game 1 all the way to that game 2 where it was match point. And again, Tender Defenders was all time to play defense the entire game. Basically, they had no chances to push, and if they did, it was pretty much shut down. UCSD Esports just played those 2 maps beautifully, and hey, UCSD Esports looking good, and this will be Tender Defenders finishing 4th. But you're not, for those who are tuning in, your eyes are not being deceived. They're playing a 3rd game for fun.
Yeah, so I guess UCSD Esports Gold, they play into CCA. They're going to carry the CCA tradition over to SoCallie because why not? It's best of 3. You know, there's one more map. You know, let's go ahead and play it for fun, especially because we went through the trouble to get everybody here. It's kind of a shame to start a stream and end a stream in 15 minutes or less. So we'll play this last one for the heck of it. Why not? Let's see if they end up cooking something here. No, it looks like this is going to be more practice for UCSD. So they're sticking with their guns. But Tender Defender is going to be kind of experimenting a little bit. You know, hey, set's done. Let's go ahead and see what else we can do.
Okay, so a different stamper or Splatana, if you will, for the Wiper. I wasn't ready for the double Glugas. If there were any double Booyah weapons that were to exist, certainly double Glugas is a choice. You know, at this point, if you're playing a 3rd game for fun, why not cook something cool? I want to see if the double Glugas can do it. But of course, I think my wishes are going to be dashed. There's the first checkpoint for UCSD Esports DRF.
Yes, and it looks like UCSD is going to be hunting for more here as Ocean Opal going to pop that cooler. CD Rumi's got a Zuka, is able to take out one of the Glugas and run with that Rainmaker all the way down to 39 points remaining. UCSD still with the numbers, but nobody there to pop the barrier quite yet. So it's just going to be a matter of who can pop this barrier, because it's going to be hard for UCSD to get in position to do so. They finally will. CD Rumi with a beautiful double. Goat Child with the 3rd pick as well. And they're looking to put this one away in record time here. But Tender Defender's doing a great job of trying to stop it. But no, CD Rumi puts the cherry on top of this 2-0 victory for UCSD Esports by claiming the friendly game 3.
You know, the friendly games 3, I was really hoping to see the double Glugas will work out to perfection. Unfortunately, my hopes were dashed from my chair. But also, as you mentioned, in pretty much the record fashion there, almost a minute and 10 and change, I get, for that map to go. Total domination from UCSD from minute 1. And I get that they're trying to cook with the double Glugas. Just to outmatch in every facet. There was at least a stop there from RC. A very well played stamp. Had that stamp came in a little bit earlier or later, basically we would be seeing more seeing that game end in even faster time. But just trying to stall it out. That was their chance for Tender Defenders to fight big. And as you mentioned, UCSD Esports just decided to take on that friendly game 3. And hey, if you're gonna go 2-0, why not try to take it? Why not win all 3 for the heck of it?
Yeah, and I for the record, like right now is their designated practice time at the Triton Esports Center in UC San Diego. So this was just them practicing, I guess, like for real. And okay, I guess we're doing more. So I don't know. Maybe this really is practice. Oh, it's a replay. Okay. I was like, are they still going? Like, okay, but no, yeah, this is their regularly scheduled practice time. So this is just kind of, you know, what I guess they were hoping to just continue to do is just, you know, run things like they normally would, especially because Ocean Opal is the newest member moving up from the JV team to varsity following Sunlight's graduation this past December. So yeah, so they have a new member. They're going to be kind of cooking some stuff. It's going to be fun to follow this team still. And UCSD Esports, now that they've won this set, they've guaranteed themselves top 3. And more importantly, they've guaranteed themselves at least some form of payday, as the top 3 teams are splitting that prize pool, which I don't know the exact number, but you could probably do the quick maths. I believe it's something like $600-ish. No, sorry, 400. somewhere like that. So like it's we'll say about 500. Yeah, I believe that's what the prize pool is approximately at, and at the very least they're going to get 10% of that.
Hey, move from fourth to third, and that being a nice payday. That's a money well received there. As by the way, for those checking in, yeah, we're gonna get some stats here or some key moments, and I think it was pretty much the lead that was taken early, but then it just pretty much did not seem to follow suit. We see the point where the lead was basically being swiped, and if you see the timing of the specials right there, and the members that were down, it was pretty much just staggered across the board, and those splashes came down at a very crucial moment here. As I think we do get the replay there if it wants to load, of course, and there we go. Replays can be a little bit finicky here, but this is a critical juncture. You get one member, okay, you get two down. They find the E leader on that right hand side, and then the Stamper and that Squiffer both going down as well. Tylee had to flank from the left hand side, able to get at least a return pick, but they knew that they were there, so they were pretty much positioning themselves in such a way where they had to make sure they covered Tylee. Beautiful positioning with Woomy to take out Tylee. Was able to get way more points. RC was just staggered, and at this point, it was just pretty much how many more points can UCSD get? And losing that fight right out of the gate so early, and then Tylee just not able to get the stop that they needed was pretty much the thing that pretty much turned that game around. We do eventually see later Tender Defenders tried to make that work with the push of their own, but they got stalled right at that critical moment there. And yeah, even with all the fighting that was happening, it just came down to the final splats on Tender Defender, and then that's pretty much all she wrote. And then we kind of see the game being just a tug of war towards the end.
Yeah, and I think tug of war is a great way to describe this particular game. Both teams just went completely back and forth all game long, but UCSD had that turning point, right before that replay section that we saw there. And taking a look at the stats, CD Woomy dropping that 20 bomb, phenomenal. Nice. Expect nothing less from the Carbon Deco Woomy himself. So actually, if we can look at the stats from the other game as well, we don't necessarily need to jump into the replay. I'm more so just curious. But another solid showing from the entire UCSD team. They're pretty well rounded. Like, no one really stands out above anyone else because everyone just died 2 or 3 times, and everyone had between 7 and 9 kills. So very, consistent performance from every single member of that team here. So kudos.
Yeah, UCSD played a very strong game. We will be hopping into this replay, but this was basically all UCSD from here on out in this Clams matchup. Tender Defenders, I know people will probably look at the stat line and realize, okay, maybe they're just the famous phrase I like to hear is just running it down. But it was just more of a testament to how well UCSD Esports pretty much played. Yeah, we are pretty much just seeing it here. UCSD pretty much stayed alive for a heavy chunk of this game. For the say least, Tender Defenders was just getting splatted left and right with virtually no response or any resistance, which again, it's just very unfortunate when you're stuck in a team, especially even if you're playing on a pickup team, playing in a tournament, especially in a LAN environment. That would be SoCallie. Mm-hmm. You still gotta work together. Still trying to piece everything all together at once. And then when you're trying to play with each other again after the continuation of SoCallie way back when, I'm sure rust and teamwork will have to be completely reforged here. So at that point in time, we unfortunately saw Tender Defender just not able to basically keep up with the pace that UCSD Esports was showing. I chalk that to more of a testament to how well UCSD Gold played throughout this set.
Yeah, and I mean, because they've been pretty consistently, practicing, since the first or since SoCallie took place in person. I don't know what the story is for Tender Defenders, but I mean, just if you look at this game as well, though, just look at this giant gap in specials from Tender Defenders. From minute 1, we don't, or I guess the first 30 seconds, my apologies, we don't see another special out of them until, what is that, the 2.5, a little over 2.5 minute mark. So we almost went 2 minutes without seeing a Tender Defenders special. And that's crazy that UCSD was able to kind of really have that kind of impact to make sure that there was just no special output.
And the tricky thing too is of course when you get splatted as often as you do, it's going to be very hard to build that special every time. And for those who has had their fair share of our anarchy games, rough ones as well, where you're trying to basically make an impact, and then you just kept getting splatted by the enemy team over and over and over again. It is so hard to get those specials back online and be able to make a difference. UCSD Esports goal, able to pretty much keep on that gas pedal, make sure that no tender defender members are still alive during those critical moments there. And that huge gap of 2 minutes has to, again, it's UCSD just doing their part to make sure that tender defenders has no chance to make it work. And if you go from 30 seconds to 2:30 right there, you kind of see the spread that tender defenders all went down. It was like almost spread staggered out, if you will. So it's very hard for one member, let alone to be able to get that special on board to make sure that any impact can be had. And yeah, we're about to see how UCSD Esports just played out this game so well.
Yeah, and it was with that wipeout really, because tender defenders, I think their strength is in openings, and we saw them open pretty strong there yet again. UCSD kind of just trying to take a minute to get their footing, but once they did, it was an avalanche of clams. So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, like, it was really good start, just wasn't able to follow through. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's really much else to say here. I think we're kind of just beating a dead horse at this point with kind of the analysis here. But alas, that is going to be this set. I know that we had talked about this earlier, but Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy will be playing Beeline in about an hour right here on this same channel. So Vapor will be streaming us, and I believe Kyon, you'll be joining us again on the mic for that set, correct?
That should be the case, barring any last minute changes here. There's something could always be something that randomly happens within the hour, but I should be set to call that game there TLS or TZS, wherever you want to play, TZS plus Limeade, whatever team you want to have. Yeah, I should be set to calling that one, so that should be a fun one coming up there, and this will be, I believe, a winners a matchup from the winners bracket side of the fence, unless I'm not mistaken. So that will be a lot of fun to see how that one plays out. And of course, since you're probably since one of the few members, I'm sure you want to just at least de-rust a little bit there too. Close to that match.
Yeah, no, we're gonna start getting warmed up. I know Brian is on his way home from work, barring LA traffic. So we will hopefully have all 4 members in time. But worst case scenario, Kyon, get ready. No. But no, we'll be fine. So looking forward to that. So unfortunately, I will not be on the mic because I will be playing. But it should be a fun matchup nonetheless. That one will be a best of 5, and again, we'll check in after each of these sets. So I know that we were guaranteed at least loser semis and winners finals. I don't know if UCSD and Beeline are interested in continuing losers finals and whatever, but we'll kind of just have updates as things move along, and we'll see how close we can get to finishing up this tournament that's been going on for close to 3 months now. So it's going to be nice to finally put this one in the books.
I'm sure I'm sure Hammer and the rest of the crew are probably trying to breathe a sigh of relief of closing out this tournament that has been overdue. So I'm sure once we put a wrap on this one, then they can look forward to the next SoCallie with a lot more peace of mind, if you will.
Absolutely, and that's going to be this weekend. So it's a great time to put this one to rest. So with that said, though, Kyon, thank you so much for joining to cover this losers semis match. We will be back in a little bit at the top of the hour with the winners final set. That will be Triggerfish Limeade Supremacy versus Beeline.